Welcome to Hastings Outdoors, straight from the Mississippi Flyway to your hearts. Let's go!
I remember when I lost my mind. There was something so pleasant about that place. Even your emotions have an echo in so much space. And when you're out there without care, yeah, I was out of touch. But it wasn't because I didn't know enough. I just knew too much. Does that make me crazy?
Oh, hey, didn't see you guys there. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Hastings Outdoors. I'm your host, Andrew, coming to you not live in any way, shape, or form from the world-renowned Hastings Outdoor Studio, located in the more world-renowned / famous Dream Building Garage. Actually, no one really knows about it, but that's all right. Welcome. Come on in. Have a seat. Oh, man. I tell you what, guys, this is kind of an impromptu / spur-of-the-moment podcast. Trying to get my audio. It's a little bit better. I recorded a podcast yesterday for today, and I was having camera issues and just struggling with it, and finally got things working, only to find out this morning when I checked the podcast just to see if it was uploaded and all that good stuff, that the audio was garbage. That is French for no bueno, which is Spanish for, yeah, well, you figured it out. Anywho, so here I am, guys, doing an impromptu podcast to get one out today. I know it's kind of late in the day, but that's okay. I just wanted to get one out. I didn't have one for this morning, and so here I am, guys. And hopefully, fingers crossed, I'll have this uploaded and all that good stuff soon. We'll see. Nevertheless, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I hope this podcast finds you well. If you're at work, hang in there. You'll get through it. I promise. But I hope everyone's hunting season, whatever species it may be, is going well. Whether you're getting after whitetail, waterfowl, whatever else is in season right now. I can't remember all of them. Sorry, guys. But I hope you guys are having success. I hope things are looking good for you. But without further ado, let's jump right in with the mission statement and get this rolling, guys. So, Hastings Outdoors mission statement for the entire world. Here you guys go. Sharing my waterfowl and outdoor experience to promote participation and conservation of our natural resources. That is the goal, ladies and gentlemen. That is the goal. Hopefully, tips and tricks along the way can help you out. If not, you can learn from my mistakes. Worst case scenario, you laugh, maybe. I don't know. Once in a while, a little giggle here and there. Yeah, a little bit. I don't know. Don't take yourself too seriously. Okay. Yeah. So, guys, welcome to the impromptu episode by Hastings Outdoors. I'm your host, Andrew. So, I'm it's kind of a blessing in disguise that the podcast yesterday or / this morning, whatever, didn't work out well because I wasn't feeling that good about it. I really wasn't. I covered some topics that I'm going to kind of talk about today as well. But yesterday was a crazy day for me. I was flat, worn out, and exhausted, feeling like a roadkill. And unfortunately, guys, I feel like I brought some of that energy to the podcast. So, hey, here we go. Redemption, part 1. As you guys can tell, my co-host Sam is not with me right now. Homeboy is actually taking a nap in his crate. So, maybe next time. So, project updates, everyone in the interwebs atmosphere. Training Sam is really the only project I'm currently working on. So there's that. Shoot, I forgot to pull this up. I'm going to pull this up just so I can reference this real quick, guys. But I am using, what I am going off of right now is, hang on a second, is a book from Wild Rose Kennels. And I don't know. Everyone's got their own opinion, and there seems to be 1,000 ways people think to train a dog. honestly, I think it boils down to personal preference, guys. But for me, through my internet research, I was looking for resources, information, a book or something to help me, videos, whatever it may be. I was looking for information that I could use to apply to training Sam. And I actually started looking into this way before I even got Sam, because my idea was, or my thought was, that okay, I know eventually I want to get a lab for retrieving. Someday I hope to have a Chesapeake Bay Retriever. That'd be cool too. But I wanted to get a dog for hunting. And I knew that that was on the horizon, the distant horizon, or so I thought. And so I ordered this book, the Sporting Dog and Retriever Training the Wild Rose Way, Raising a Gentleman's Gun Dog for Home and Field. So I found this book, I think on eBay or something. I don't know if it's still in print. I'm not sure. But I purchased this book, and I kind of looked at it a little bit and then just kind of put it on the shelf. And the reason being is because I had other projects in the meantime. I was getting ready for season, trying to get a lot of stuff buttoned up, projects completed, all that good stuff before season opened, because I didn't plan on having a dog for at least another year and change. And so God decided to bless me with a really great price that I couldn't refuse, and I found Sam and the litter that he came from. They were having a hard time selling them, and I guess inflation kind of works out in my favor this way. The poor economy kind of worked out in my favor this way. Not so much in other ways, but I was able to pick up Sam for about $500 off. So I'll take that all day long. AKC registered lab, British lab, with paperwork, all that good stuff. I still have to send that registration in. But a healthy, full blood. I almost said full bred. That doesn't make any sense. Full blood lab with paperwork for $200. Win for the home team, and win for Sam because he's got a cool hunting buddy now. But trying to keep it light and relaxed, guys, because yesterday was an absolute grind and it didn't even pay off. So here we are again, and we're gonna have some fun. And by we, I mean me, and hopefully you. If you're listening to this, you're a bit of a captive audience, but you can always close it. So I don't know. Hang in there, guys. I promise I'll make something silly happen soon. So that is my project update, guys, is training Sam. He is doing really well. And honestly, guys, I didn't have to house train this dog as far as, potty train. He is pretty clever. And man, these headphones are just not fitting right today. I don't know why. I got a large noggin to begin with, and headphones make it weird. Anywho, so I didn't really have to potty train Sam. He pretty much potty trained himself. I just had to open the door. And literally, I think the first day we got home is kind of when this started. I picked him up and went and actually surprised my wife at work with meeting him, so that was kind of cool. And then by the time we got home, we get inside, and within a few minutes of being home, he just started whining, started circling, came to me, was whining, and I expected a little bit of that because he's away from his pack environment. It's a completely new environment, new surroundings. He'd never been in a house before. A lot of stuff was new, so I kind of expected a little bit of that, especially at night, that kind of thing. But it just dawned on me, hey, he probably has to go to the bathroom. He would whine and then kind of sniff, walk around, whine, sniff, walk around. And so finally, after a matter of seconds, really, guys, it wasn't that long, I walked to the door, opened it, walked outside. He followed me outside, walked off the deck there, and did his business. And so pretty much ever since then, that's how it's been. There have been a few accidents here and there, like with the busyness of trying to get everyone ready for church on Sunday morning, and all that entails. It's a pleasant task. I don't want to make it sound like it's just chaos, even though sometimes it feels like that. But so there's been a few times with busy situations like that where taking care of kids, helping my wife, whatever it may be, trying to get my own boots on, that kind of stuff, where he just has to go, and I've missed it. And he hasn't completely gone or relieved himself in the house, but there have been, fortunately and thankfully, I've caught it to the best of my knowledge, to where he finally gets in position to go, and then I catch it. We go outside. Everything works out great, and so it's been going extremely well. I do, however, I still am working on the standard potty training type stuff of making sure I give him plenty of opportunities to go outside and go potty, all that good stuff. And so it's working really well, and he's learning basic commands, and he's picking them up quick. I mean, just quick. Within day 2, I had him sitting on command with a hand gesture and a verbal command, and I mean that was surprising to me. So day 2, he's already sitting with the verbal and the hand gesture, and then I kept working on that over time, and I have been a little bit here every day. Sometimes I include a treat for good behavior when he sits on command. Sometimes it's just a pat on the head, good boy, that kind of thing. But now it's the point to where if I want him to, come to me, it's just, Sam, come, hold out my hand to gesture, sit, and boom, butt drops down, sits, eyes on me. I'll take that all day long. So far, so good. But also other commands, like I just mentioned, Sam, come, sit, stay, up, down, no. And one of my favorite ones that I didn't really have to teach him, which is really nice, is when he does get in the truck with me to go somewhere, he has a tendency, usually I'll put him in the passenger floorboard. He always ends up in the seat. That's fine by me. So long as no one's in that seat, it's okay with me. But then I walk around to the driver's side to get in the truck, and he's standing in my seat. Not cool. He doesn't have thumbs, therefore I'm the designated driver in this situation. That's funny to me. All right. Anyway, so one of my favorite commands so far is Sam, over. And he literally just moves over. And so I may need to work on that a little bit because I may need to reframe that command or find a different command sometime in the future to actually get him to go over something. But so far, so good. And honestly, guys, I haven't had to use that much. But yeah, Sam is coming along great, guys. He is getting into the rambunctious, rowdy puppy phase, and that's kind of cool. He's coming out of his shell a little bit. And by a little bit, I mean a lot. Puppies have a lot of energy, and it's best to burn that energy in a positive way, but without the meaningless, repetitious, like throwing a ball and pointless retrieves. So give your puppy, space to run, that kind of thing. But if you are trying to train a hunting dog, don't, and do this intentionally, do not make any retrieve just pointless. So throwing a tennis ball, playing fetch with your dog, knock that out. Don't do that because a retrieve is a reward, and you want to build that into them that literally the retrieve is the reward. And if your kids are throwing a ball all day long, or they're throwing toys all day long, and he's chasing and blah, 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 it's just aimless, it's pointless, and it's not really helping you achieve the goal you want. Anywho, I'm getting too far in the weeds on that one. But check out the Wild Rose book I mentioned. It's definitely worth it, guys. And it's, I think the main focus, and I don't know the proper terminology in this, so I don't want to butcher it, but the main focus on this is positive reinforcement more so than a more corrective approach, a more forced approach. And nothing wrong to an extent. Nothing wrong with the other ways of doing it, but I prefer the positive reinforcement because, if you have to correct your dog in a tense situation or something, you don't want them, one, to become desensitized to quick, harsh forms of correction. I'm not talking beating your dog or hitting him with an e-collar. I mean a sharp, quick, command, that kind of, get your attention command, dad voice, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. But you don't want your dog to be so skittish because you've overused that to the point that the dog responds in fear, not in loyalty and trust. So there's that. But check it out, guys. If you guys are interested in training or even polishing up or trying to correct or mitigate or negate undesirable behaviors, check it out. It's definitely worth it. I will say this much, though. That book was salty. So if you can find one less than $50, it's a good deal. So that leads me to the whole season update, guys. The last episode, well, the last episode, I talked about my previous weekend hunting, and it was actually my first weekend to be able to get out there. I tried opening morning, and there was too much competition at the spot. I rolled in behind a truck. I followed a truck in, and there was already 3 trucks there, so that makes 5 in total that showed up to this spot that isn't very big. And so I just said the heck with it. Came home and made pancakes for my girls. So last weekend, and not to get too far in the weeds in this, guys, because I already talked about it. Check out the last episode if you want to hear the details. Last weekend was pretty good. First time rocking Canada's, and some flew into my set. Okay. Had goose fajitas after that. Also cool. Saturday, not so bueno. Not much wind, literally no birds. So, well, not no birds, but nothing that was really feasible. So, first weekend of waterfowl for me, pretty good, guys. I'll take it. I'll chalk that up as a win for the home team. And as far as season updates go, guys, I transitioned from season prep updates to season updates because obviously, hey, it's hunting season. It's time to go, right? And most of you guys that waterfowl hunt, you're probably, I hope by now you're in the same groove. Game on, season's on, let's go. But I will add, depending on how things go, I will add little tips and tricks, kind of a season update / season prep project update somewhere. I'll thread it in there somewhere because I do foresee certain additions and changes in my future as far as, my gear, stuff I'm trying, that kind of thing, just to better my chances, better my odds, and to be a better hunter in general. So one of the things, I'm just going to throw this little nugget out here, and I'm actually going to write it down so I don't forget about it to talk about it if I come across it next time, is doing something better to camouflage the kayak. And bear with me. And so I honestly don't think I put any pictures of the kayak. Well, there are some on Instagram from last weekend, but as far as pictures of the kayak itself, I don't think there's anything out there. But I bought this kayak off of Marketplace. I'm sorry, dude, I forget your name. Cool dude. I'm guessing, I believe he was in the Army National Guard and was moving to one of the larger cities around here for that purpose or something. I believe he had to move and was moving to an apartment from the house he was in and didn't have room for the kayak and all that good stuff. And so it's a decently used kayak, and he was selling it, and I went and bought it. So there's that. Cool. And once I got it home, it had, and I do apologize, guys. I think, it's a Field & Stream brand Eagle Talon. I think that's what it says. It's kind of covered in mud right now, so it's hard to tell. But it was white-green with like some black and stuff as far as the molded plastic goes. And it's kind of camouflage-ish looking, but that's no bueno. That's no bueno. It stuck out like a sore thumb. So what I did is I actually used some stencils that I had laying around that I didn't use on the Dragonfly 3, the boat, because I didn't like them. And it just didn't look good having trying to use a 12-inch by 12-inch stencil on the boat. It just wasn't looking good. I tested it, tried it, didn't like it. Ended up making my own stencils to kind of match that Vietnam era-esque, Korean War era-esque camouflage pattern that the U.S. military had. That's what I went with for the boat. I like it. Works for me. But so I took some of those stencils and tried to, and I didn't try to, I stenciled and painted the kayak to kind of just break up that pattern a little bit better. And overall, it made the kayak look a lot darker, which that's fine by me. Darker earth, muddy looking color, and that's cool. However, one issue I ran into this last weekend, it wasn't an issue. I wasn't flaring birds. I wasn't too obvious, but it could have been better. So that's what I'm getting at, is grassing, trying to do something as far as camouflage or grass or something goes on the kayak itself. I think that'll help tremendously, especially the front of the kayak, because that was the most exposed. And ideally, I mean, it would be pretty gnarly to make some sort of tarp or something that has camouflage on it, or even canvas or something that has camouflage on it that I could kind of pull up over my feet, that kind of thing, just to help cover a little bit and just to hide it as best I can. And so there, that might be thrown into the season update / project update, whatever thing in the future. And that's the kind of thing I want to talk about or throw in as they come up, is little tidbits like that to try and help you guys and keep you up to date on the things I'm trying and doing to improve. Because honestly, guys, concealment is, man, if I had to make a hierarchy of what is important for waterfowl hunting, number one would be obviously scouting, finding birds. That's the biggest thing. You can't hunt them if you can't find them. Now there is always a chance, but your odds are going to be dramatically increased if you can scout, find areas where birds are, and we'll get into that momentarily. And then, honestly, after that, I would say concealment, and even after that, I would say your spread and motion, that kind of thing, and somewhere in there, I don't know, somewhere in there, the top two, I would probably put practicing with your shotgun, and being familiar with your shotgun, and learning how to shoot a shotgun. You point a shotgun, you don't aim it like a rifle. And so that kind of all goes into it. But yeah, so concealment is huge, guys. And it's very hard to conceal a large boat versus a small watercraft like a kayak or a little sneak boat, that kind of thing, canoe. But more on that next time. So kind of a how-to kind of conversation starter, thought provoker, whatever topic here today, guys. I've got a few things I want to talk about. One of them was scouting. I mentioned that earlier. And the other thing that is kind of interesting to me, and this is kind of crazy, it's kind of like the waterfowl hunter's everyday carry video, whatever you want to call it, topic. That used to be, I don't know if it still is, but that was a really hot topic on YouTube for a long time for guys, for like tactical purposes and self-defense and all that good stuff, is what's your EDC, your everyday carry. And so, honestly, the everyday carry part, that just popped in my head, guys. But we're going to roll with it. So my idea is, what do you guys keep in your blind bag? I'm curious to know this because often, guys, in most situations where it's fishing, hunting, whatever it may be, I always tend to bring a lot more things than I think I need just in case. And usually end up never needing them, thank the Lord. And but I'd rather be prepared. Worst case scenario, I'd rather be prepared than underprepared. So that's my theory. And so in my blind bag, man, I should have just grabbed my blind bag. I don't know where I put it. It might be in the house. It's just a small backpack, guys. And actually, I had looked into getting a blind bag / backpack for this season. But after seeing the price of some of these things, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's a backpack, dude, with camo on it. Like, I'm sorry. Yeah, you make some cool stuff, but it's a camouflage backpack. Come on. And I know that a lot of brands make really cool versions of that, but if we're being honest, guys, they're also kind of overpriced. And I'm going to pull one up here, and I'm not going to mention any names, but I just want to see the price out of this out of curiosity, just to see what's going on, guys. And so, oh geez, that's an eBay price too. Ooh, salty. But I'd looked into some of these actually when I was at Cabela's, Bass Pro, Cabela's, whatever it was, Bass Pro Shops. I went with a buddy and I was just looking at some of the options they had there. And even a small like tote bag size blind bag was like $50. I'm like, no, you can keep that crap. And so, oh my gosh, I'm just trying to find this here. Well, this one is it's about the size of a small duffel bag. And like I said, I'm not going to tell you which brand this is because I really like this brand. But $90 for a small camouflage duffel bag, pretty much. So let's see if I can find some. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's a blind itself. Okay, that makes more sense. I just saw the price and about had to change my drawers, boys. And girls, whoever's listening. So this one's actually called a backpack, and looks like it's got Bottomland on it there, and it looks really cool, guys. It's got a lot of neat little accessories, pockets, compartments, stuff like that. Looks like it's got some shell holders, something like that. Cool stuff, right? But just because you throw camouflage on it and sew in some elastic for a shell holder, it doesn't make it, in my opinion, doesn't make it worth $100. It's a backpack, and you call it a backpack on your website. Anywho, off my soapbox or my rant for that. But so, believe it or not, oh, my wife's going to kill me for this. It's all right. She'll never hear it. Maybe. I don't know. I shouldn't say that. It sounded negative. I didn't like that. We'll scratch that. She might not hear it. Does that sound better? I don't want to be negative here, but she doesn't listen to the podcast. So maybe that's a good thing and a bad thing. I'm not sure. Maybe maybe if she doesn't listen to the podcast, she'll realize how crazy I actually am. If she doesn't know by now, then I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. But so my blind bag, guys, it's basically a backpack. I forget how long we've had it, 2 or 3 years now, and it's a small backpack. It's, if you fill it up with like say you put like a bunch of towels in there just to poof it up as much as you can. It's probably about that wide, about that tall, or sorry, that deep. Not height-wise. If you're looking at the bottom of the bag, that's what it looks like. You can just about fit one of these ammo boxes in there. So it almost fits down in there, not quite wide enough. So that gives you guys perspective. It's not very big. It's about the size of it'd probably fit in a boot box. The box that your muck boots or something come in, it would definitely fit in there. Anywho's, I forget who makes it. I think I don't even know what camo it's got on it. It might be Realtree, it might be Mossy Oak. I don't know. We picked it up at a local store, and by we I mean my wife and I. And the reason I did this is because a few years back, when we were pregnant and still had a deer hunting property, my wife wanted something to carry snacks and stuff like that in while she's hunting. So we got this bag loaded up with snacks and hand warmers and all kinds of stuff and goodies and whatnot for her and baby. And that's how we came into possession of this backpack. And so I found this bag, and I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm just going to make this work. And the reason being is because I'm cheap. And, I'm not, I shouldn't say I'm cheap. I don't like spending a lot of money. And full disclosure, guys, most of the blind bags or waterfowl backpacks that I've seen, come on. Really? $100+ for a backpack? Now, don't get me wrong. If they gave me, if a certain brand, I don't know, let's think of a brand. Gosh, now I'm drawing a blank, guys. Does Dive Bomb make a backpack? I don't know. If Dive Bomb calls me up or Final Approach or somebody calls me up and says, hey, you want to try this out? Okay, I'll try it. But I'm going to be honest with you, the price is not in my range, so just be aware of that. Anywho's, but if anyone ever did that, I would give you guys my honest opinion about it. I would take it out, use it for a little while, and try to get familiar with it, and give you guys an honest review of it. And who knows, maybe if Final Approach said, hey man, saw your podcast, and you're talking about waterfowl backpacks and blind bags and stuff, and yeah, ours are whatever price, and it may be a little high, but it's worth it, and we want to show you that it is. Okay, cool, whatever, I'll try it. But, so I got my cheap backpack that's got, I don't even know what camo it's got. I think it's Realtree. Oh, I don't even know, guys. I can't even remember now. But, so in my, man, I talked for way too long about bags there before I got to the part what's in the blind bag. Anywho, so in my blind bag, guys, I keep, when I'm going hunting, my calls are in there, usually towards the top. That's a good thing to keep in mind. I don't have very many compartments. I've got one little small compartment that, like, you could probably put your wallet in there, but that's about it. And then the main compartment and 2 almost useless pouches on the side. I said almost. But so I keep a small thing of Lucas Oil gun oil in my bag. And one thing that I actually forgot to put in there, and I'm glad I'm talking about this because it reminded me of this, is I want to put a gun-specific cleaning pick and maybe a brush in there too, just in case. And now I'm not expecting any issues out of the Franke itself, the Franke Affinity 3 Waterfowl Elite that I have, guys. I don't expect any issues out of it unless I do something to cause it. So, hypothetically speaking, say I'm going to search for a bird that landed some weeds like I did last weekend, and happened to, for whatever reason, the strap slips off my shoulder or something like that, or I trip and eat dirt. I don't know, whatever it is, guys. I drop that thing in muck. I drop that thing in the water, the mucky, nasty water, and it has a bunch of gunk in it, just in case. And that's why I have that in there, and I want to put that brush/pick in there too, to just in case. That way, it's not a hunt-ending situation. Also, guys, when I'm going out to hunt, I do take a bottle of water with me, a decent bottle of water. And that, honestly, for me personally, this maybe you guys can relate to this. I don't know, but for me personally, when I'm hunting, I don't think about food. I don't think about eating. I don't take snacks. I can tell you that right off the bat. I don't take snacks. If you're that bored hunting, maybe it's not for you. Don't know. I don't want to get too judgy on this one, but I think if you need to pack a lunch to go out for 5 hours, then I don't know. Maybe you're kind of missing the point. I don't know. I've never I've never been hunting and thought, man, I'm really hungry. I'm focused on what I'm doing, and that's just me, guys. I can go a long time without eating. I know I don't look like it, right? I know, like I look like I could eat a cow by myself, which I probably could if I was really hungry. That'd be impossible. That's a joke, guys. But you put a big old, 32-ounce steak in front of me, I'll probably devour it. But for the most part, I really don't eat that much. This is just what you get. Anywho, so I don't take snacks. I do take a bottle of water. And of course, some of you guys may laugh at this, but some of you old timers may agree with me. And by old timers, I mean anyone over the age of 35. Got to have that Diet Mountain Dew on hand. I do not take energy drinks. This is just, again, me personally, guys. Energy drinks, off the list. Not a fan of coffee. And the only way I like my tea is cold. And that's very rarely. I might try some sweet tea once in a blue moon. I think the last time I had sweet tea was probably, I can't remember. It's been that long. So Diet Mountain Dew is my go-to, man. Coffee, coffee, it's not bad. I don't like hot drinks to begin with. But coffee's not bad. It's not the flavor. It's none of that. It's the fact that if you're a human being, or a normal human being, I should say, coffee, it causes certain things to happen in the body. And that's the last thing I want, is to be sitting in my kayak, tucked up in the weeds, right at prime time, and the call of nature comes screaming to my ear. And no, I'm good. I'm good there. So, oh man, we're talking about doo-doo. Mountain Dew. Oh boy. But and energy drinks. Sorry guys, my mind's going 1,000 miles a minute. Energy drinks. That's off my list. I don't care who you are or who you talk to or what you say. Energy drinks are not healthy for you. I don't care how many vitamins and minerals they claim is in that garbage. The rest of it is what's getting you. And I'm sorry, but I firmly believe that the copious amounts of caffeine in there are not good for you either. There's been a lot of research on the health costs of energy drinks. And for me personally, guys, the last time I had an energy drink was many, many years ago. I got one on the way to work for whatever reason. I had to stop and get gas. And I grabbed, I can't remember what it was. I think it was a Monster or something like that. But halfway through the day, that thing was gone. And next thing I know, my heart's just... And no, I was jittery, getting the shakes, heart's racing. Not a fan. And maybe I have a caffeine sensitivity. I don't know. But hey, that's why I stick to Diet Mountain Dew. Anywho, it's moving on. Obviously, guys, I keep a box of shells in the bottom of it. What else? I keep a little section of paracord, about 25 feet of paracord in there, wrapped up, tucked away, just in case, I need to, you never know. If I need to tow the kayak or something like that, or drag the kayak or whatever it may be, You never know. And then I also keep extra gloves, and I want to eventually get some decoy gloves, like actual waterproof gloves for handling decoys, moving stuff like that. Just because for the most part, I I don't like wearing gloves a lot, and I can't shoot with gloves on if I can't feel it. If I don't have that dexterity in the actual feeling of the gun, I can't shoot it. I'm 1,000% 1,000% sure it is a mental block, but I can't do it. So most of the time when I'm hunting, I'm gonna have my hands in my pockets, hand warmers, that kind of thing. It's not an issue for me. The only reason I was wanting to get decoy gloves is because when your hands get wet, they get cold quick, and that's bound to happen waterfowl hunting. And so I would like to have some waterproof decoy gloves for that purpose. Occasionally, I will keep an extra hat in there, guys, like an extra sock hat or something like that, just in case I don't get my hood up in time or it's raining and whatever. Just that way, I can keep my head dried warm and whatnots. And then what else? Oh, and so one other thing I added to the bag this year, since I'll be doing a lot of kayak hunting primarily, was a foldable limb saw. I'm sure you guys can check them out. We can do a Google search here real quick. But I like to keep a foldable limb saw in my bag. And I started doing this because I use the same bag for dove hunting. And it really helps with... Oh, hang on. I don't... Okay. It really helps with grassing the blind in, that kind of thing. And they're not expensive. Actually, that's kind of crazy. I don't know how good this one is. I've never heard of it before, but right now there's a 7-inch long limb saw. There's a 7-inch long limb saw at Bass Pro for $10. Fiskars actually makes a 7-inch folding saw. I would probably buy that over the other one on Amazon for $14.62. They're not hard to come by. That's really annoying because there's a Gerber folding limb saw from Bass Pro for $30, which, in case you guys don't know, Fiskars or Fiskars, whatever it's called, they own Gerber. So there's that. Keep that in mind. Maybe able to save you some money. But so yeah, a folding limb saw or just a that kind of thing. I honestly believe, guys, it's helped me out a lot, especially with hunting in the field, because yeah, corn stalks aren't that strongest thing in the world, but they're very hard to rip. So if you're wanting to move some corn stalks around or lay up against the blind, quick rip with that saw, you're good to go. Actually, cutting a limb with it, that's what it's intended for. It works pretty good, but it also works good for a lot of other applications too. And it's very useful to have, and it doesn't take up that much room. I think mine's 9 or 10-inch blade, and so it's about yay big. Just looks like a giant pocket knife. I slide down the side of my bag, good to go. And so that's just a general overview of my everyday carry for my blind bag, guys. I do keep, I also keep my little cheat sheet for calls in there, just in case I have a brain fart. And like I said, I put my calls in there on top. And yeah, that's about it. And depending on what I'm doing that day, sitting in the kayak, I don't want to sit on my wallet the entire time. Man, it's uncomfortable. So I can throw my wallet in there, that kind of thing and stuff like that. But hey, there's that. And I'm definitely interested. What do you guys or gals have in your blind bag? What do you keep? Got any toilet paper in there or anything like that? I mean, I can hold it for days, so I don't worry about toilet paper. But what do you guys keep? You guys keep the Little Debbies in there? You got some Swiss rolls? Got them Twinkies? Not the snowballs. Not the snowballs. It's not the taste, it's the consistency. Anywho, moving on. If you guys, I actually will make that a poll thing or a question thing at the end of, or for the folks listening on Spotify, you can check that out. What do you guys keep in your blind bag? I'm curious to see, because you never know, and different situations call for different gear. So hey, it'll be interesting to see what you guys use, or at least keep on hand for you never know when. So blind bag. Wrapping it up here. I mentioned earlier scouting, guys, and I talked about it in the episode that never aired because the audio was crap. And man, Scouting is one of those things for me where I wish I had the time to just go out and scout and scout and scout every single day, or at least the 3 days leading up to the weekend when I can hunt, whatever it may be. But then again, if I had that much time to scout, I'd probably have more time to hunt. So don't know. But scouting, guys, for the most part, every YouTube or content creator, podcaster, anyone who talks about any public presence that speaks about waterfowl hunting, and anybody you talk to that's been waterfowl hunting for a while, they will tell you that scouting is a majority of waterfowl hunting. And I will just throw in there bird hunting as well. And by birds, I mean other migratory birds like dove and non-migratory species, as well, turkeys and all that good stuff. Scouting is crucial, and it applies to a lot of things, not just birds. So my general understanding of scouting. So take this for what it's worth, guys. I've got 1 season under my belt. I'm currently in my 2nd season, but I've been studying a lot. My general take on scouting is going out and looking for birds. That's pretty simple, right? And from what I've gathered from other people's and other resources, all right. What I've gathered is that the best way to do it would be if you, hypothetically, say you're driving home from work or driving back from the store or something like that. You're out and about, and it's evening time, and you see, a bunch of geese or mallards or whatever on a body of water, and it's almost sunset, that kind of thing. Or it's early in the morning, sun's just cracking, and you see them on the water. Whatever it may be, try to get a time to where you can go out, the following day or the morning, and try to follow and see where those birds are going, or see where they're coming from to where they're going to, that kind of thing, and try to plan around that. That is kind of ideal. That doesn't always work out. And for me, guys, that's not really an option too much because I just don't have the time. I wish I had more time, but I don't. I really don't. And it's kind of a bummer, but it's okay. It's okay. I'm working with what I got, and that's all you can do. So for me, when I scout, I go to, my goal is to try and go to areas where I want to hunt, that I think would be decent for what I'm doing, waterfowl hunting. And based off of previous experience and previous information, I will make a list, of a handful or so of places I want to go or think might be good, whatever, based off of, a couple of years ago when I was fishing Lake Fall, I saw Canadas on this body of water, or I saw mallards or whatever it may be. So I use my previous information for this a lot. And so I'll make that list, and then I'll go check. And really, my scouting, guys, for most of the places I go, scouting isn't that intense or that involved. I can glass most of the places I want to go with binoculars. And so I got binos in the truck. I'll roll out there, find different parking areas if need be, drive down a different road, and just stop for a minute as long as there's not traffic, and just stop, glass an area, that kind of thing. And that helps a lot. I did that before my hunt last week. And unfortunately, I found a place that had some wood ducks, but the problem is it was private, and I just don't have time. I don't have time to go ask the permission, and to be honest with you, that'd be a hard hunt anyway because it's the size of probably a couple large swimming pools. That's how big this little pond was. And so that's how I tried to do it, guys. And I know that's probably not the best way. That's not ideal, but that's what I got. That's what I'm working with. I'm just trying to make the best of the situation that I have and the time that I have. And so another little tidbit I want to talk or mention is I don't have this available to me because I don't want to spend the money on it. But for those of you guys in the know, OnX has one of their more recent updates is in the layers section or whatever, I believe. No, maybe it's not in layers. Let me just pull up OnX here. And I don't have this feature because I didn't buy the Elite package because in all honesty, guys, if you guys aren't familiar with OnX, it is a subscription-based app that shows you satellite imagery. It shows you property boundaries, property owner information, stuff like that. And it's very useful for hunting. And honestly, I think it is, I don't know, maybe I'm just guessing here, but based off of my use of the app and stuff like that, I can see how it would be extraordinarily helpful for hunters out west, where there's lots of public land, whether they're waterfowl hunting or elk hunting, whatever it may be. It would be extremely helpful there to know where boundaries are, that kind of thing. And also for waterfowl hunters in general, especially with this recent update, if you go to the base maps button, so it's if you have the app open, in the bottom right there's two buttons. One will say 2D or satellite, 2D. You can do 3D, hybrid, topo, that kind of thing. If you click on that and you have the elite, it'll show you recent imagery, and you can turn that on and actually check. And I think it's within the last couple of weeks or so. I'm not sure how often it's updated, but you can check and excuse me, you can see the bodies of water. So that's really cool. And so if you guys have that available to you, I would definitely take advantage of that and incorporate that into your scouting. It's another tool in your box of tricks that you can help to increase that effectiveness of your scouting. And then another tidbit I want to throw in here. This is kind of it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of interesting. I do like to check out Migration Station USA. I've talked about this several times previously, and you know what? I wasn't planning on doing this, but I'm going to pull this up real quick. And if you go to migrationstationusa.com, you can check out. They have a migration map, and I'm not really sure how the reporting works on this, but I think it's just users that are sending in reports that help with this. But they have a map, and just go check it out, guys. You can check it out on your phone. You can check it out on a computer, whatever. And it shows you kind of where it shows you areas where there's decent populations of birds. It can show you how your area is looking based on how it's been reported, that kind of thing. As of right now, Indiana looks like horrible. But Migration Station also had a short update. So on the main page, there's a section for migration reports. Click that. And then they have a short video talking about what they call the Veterans Day migration. And to give you the gist of it all, around Veterans Day, so the second and third week of November, there seems to be a decent push and congregation of birds in basically the middle slice of the United States. So if you're looking at a map of the U.S. and you pretend it's a hamburger, where the patty goes, that's where they're talking about. It seems to be that there's a high density of birds in that area that come down from Canadian lands in the northern states. And they guesstimate that it's based off photoperiodism, which is basically the changing of the light, how long the day is and how bright the night is. And so this period of November, typically, it's very dark at night, low visibility. It's between the full moon phase and whatnot, so there's not a lot of moonlight, and the days are actually 40 minutes shorter than the end of October. And so they scientifically guesstimate, that is what causes this big push. And also for you whitetail hunters out there, the same theory applies to what actually kicks off the rut. So keep that in mind. Although the weather's not looking great and it's not looking very ducky out there, maybe we got that going for us here in Norte de Indiana. Maybe, I don't know. So fingers crossed, that's promising. It's hopeful. I don't know. We'll see what happens, guys. Also, that's a bit of a touchy subject, hunting this weekend, because my wife's birthday is this weekend. So we'll see how that goes. Maybe I'll just tell her I have to get out there for the homies listen to the podcast so I can give them a good report. I don't know. That won't go over well at all. So check out migrationstationusa.com. I like to incorporate that with scouting too, just to see what other people are saying they're seeing, that kind of thing, and a general idea of where. For northern Indiana, I don't know how many waterfowlers use this, but I would like to strongly encourage, if I can talk, strongly encourage any waterfowlers in northern Indiana and especially Michigan. You guys are dropping the ball hard on this map. Guys, if you're seeing something, say something. You don't have to tell where it is per se. I don't think. But I don't know. Maybe Indiana is just that competitive because waterfowl hunting is not lights out. It's highly competitive. I don't know, but it would be awesome to see more data for my area of the country, northern Indiana, that is, and to see what people are seeing. And for me personally, guys, hypothetically speaking, say a lot of guys in the northwest corner of Indiana, in the Valparaiso, Gary area, and that chunk of Indiana, not far from Chicago. If a bunch of guys were reporting, hey, we're seeing tons of birds in that area, well, guess what, guys? I'm not driving up there to hunt them. I don't have the time. I just don't have the time. I'm sorry, guys. I wish I did. I wish I had time to travel a little bit further for hunting, but I don't. So, I wouldn't be too worried. But hunting as it is, it's competitive, I guess, and everyone has to make a game out of it. Even though we're all after the same thing. Don't know. Be kind, folks. Be kind. It really doesn't cost you much. So, yeah, guys, I've been checking the migration map, and I've been checking, looking for updates like that. And so the weather doesn't look that ducky for this weekend, and really for the following week. It doesn't look like it's going to be very good waterfowl weather. AKA, it's going to be really nice for like getting outside and having a campfire or something. But for waterfowl hunting, the nastier the better, and that's not on the horizon. We're going to see cooler temps in my area, but that's about it. So I don't know. We'll see what happens, guys. But that being said, guys, more information on that to come, and we will see what happens. If I don't take my wife off too much, we'll see what happens. But thanks for listening, guys. And as always, if you like it, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. The biggest thing you do for me is share. Put it up on your Facebook. Share something on Instagram. I don't know, guys. Help a brother out. I'd appreciate it. I'm not looking to get rich, but I'm just looking to help out and make someone laugh in the meantime. That being said, guys, get out there, get after it, get hunting, stay safe. And until next time, I'll catch you later. Peace. Check out Hastings Outdoors on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Like, share, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff. Thanks for listening.